Distance is about many shapes of social distanciation, whether it is physical, but especially psychological distance between people. What I'm trying to decipher with this film and this project is how it happens, what are the causes? Does the alienation comes from an individual process, or does society actually alienate people? I think we're living in a world that is very polarized on many levels by many different people. I'm not trying to make people sad. I'm trying to just point a finger at an issue. I want people to be able to see different things. When brute art is done to an extent that you don't have any money consideration, marketing consideration, that you're not trying to make a film for a target audience, but you're just making a film for the sake of the art, that's what it looks like. I don't think I can really give you one thing or that. I mean, I love plenty of different things, and I fetch references in many different forums. I've had references in engineering books, or architecture, like I said, or video games. It's funny because when people look at the characters, for example. They all have a different idea on what it looks like, and they're all right and they're all wrong as well. Which is very interesting to me. People I've compared distance to Shadow of the Colossus or Zelda, or I had Dark Souls. I had just video games. People saw African iconography in it. So some others saw South American iconography, which I tend to say that is more like that, because American Art Deco is mostly inspired by Mayan and Inca, ornaments and stuff and visual language. So I kind of lean towards that. But if you say that you see some African or Asian stuff in it, I'm not against it. You could see that. And I'm okay with it. I'm open to interpretation. I think that's what's cool about it too, And that's also why I want to keep the narration of the film kind of cryptic and abstract in a way, because I want people to be able to see different things, in that. It's also why, again, it is a difficult project to propose to a producer or the industry in general, because they don't like cryptic, because they know that their audience doesn't want to think most of the time. They just want sheer entertainment. But I'm not here to soften people's brain. I'm actually here to try to make them think about things. So it's a challenge, but I think it's worth it. Yeah. So distance is about many shapes of social distanciation, whether it is physical, but especially psychological distance between people. What I'm trying to decipher with this film and this project is how it happens, what are the causes of people distanciating themselves either from society or from someone else, another group of people. Does the alienation comes from an individual process, or does society actually alienate people? So what I'm trying to study is all the different variables of that. So the concept of distance is still very much evolving in my brain as we speak. It's constantly shifting and becoming something new and iterating on something old. And so what I have in my head at the moment is basically 5 acts, which under the global umbrella of distance is gonna point a finger at different symbols. So yeah, the first one is basically a broken relationship. That's with the peacock and the Sphinx characters that I've posted on our station, and it's just a couple arguing. Basically, and just but they fell into that routine that is just despicable, and love is gone, and they're just kind of slowly breaking apart. And then we're going to have every sequence is going to have its own thing. So like the next one would be in the city, and that would be more of a kind of a social, like, you know, class struggle kind of thing. So it is literally society alienating part of its people just because of the way it is, you know, like because it is inherently unfair and tends to discriminate. So there's going to be that. There's going to be twins tearing each other apart because they want to be unique, and they're just like it's narcissism, basically. You know, like you just don't want to have someone that looks like you. You don't feel like having an alter ego is a good thing, because you want to be just an individual, I guess. So there's going to be that. There's going to be exploitation. There's going to be like many different symbols. I think we're living in a world that is very polarized, you know, on many levels, and I think there is room to do a critique like that. It's not the most bankable topic that you can tackle, because like people just want to be happy and upbeat, and especially in those dire times, you don't really want to watch something that's going to make you more depressed than you already are. But that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make people sad. I'm trying to just like point a finger at an issue that I've been experimenting my whole life. You know, as an artist, I felt alienated many times by many different people. So that's just also part of my personal struggle that I think can resonate in a lot of other people. Yeah, I'm literally always listening to music, and most of my friends, I actually know more musicians than I know visual artists. Most of my friends, I mean, the people doing the audio on distance, for example, are like some of my best friends. I am not a musician myself. I've never really understood how music works. I don't have the technical theory for it, but I do enjoy music a lot, and I listen to all kinds of stuff. I tend to listen to. I could literally go in a day from like Korean opera to witch house to like IDM, you know, or ambient. Like it's just there's just things during the creative process, especially. I tend to like music, listen to things that are a little more intense. You know, that's why like opera is good to me, or witch house, because like they took you into the zone. Like it's kind of like a shortcut. It's a shortcut to like the creative zone in your brain, so that like you can like disconnect from reality and just go into like this megalomaniac vision, you know, like where like suddenly like everything gets abstracted and you're thinking in terms of like shapes and forms and visual harmony, rather than like what should I have for lunch, you know. So it's just a way to cut the parasitic thoughts and only keep the essential. I mean, even when I was doing my short films, when I was a student, like we're talking 10 years ago, I would always have the people doing the music and the sound design and the audio having like early feedback on everything I create. And they have a say in camera direction. They have a say in design. They have a say in rhythm, obviously, you know. And like many times, my friends actually made me redo shots or change the timing of my editings, just so that they can have a better harmony musically, you know. And I think to me it's extremely important in what I'm doing that like the music is the direct reflection of the visual, and that they have that it can shine even more than the visual at certain moment of the film when it's relevant to do so, you know. So it's they're echoing each other in a way, and I love to have my friend's opinion on that. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I was already like a kind of a spacey, you know, like teenager, and I was already drawing, and I was in my head most of the time, so it kind of made sense that I naturally evolved being an artist. But I had this dilemma of either becoming a writer, because I really liked, just writing things, and the creation of like telling a story and building a universe through words was really interesting to me. And also at the same time, I was drawing and doing street art and stuff like that. So when I finished high school, I had those two choices, and I kind of went impulsively for design. Instead of journalism school, I think I was hesitating at the time, and so that's how it happened. I just kind of like just took a path and went for it, you know. And I tend to, like, when I take a decision, I try to go all the way, you know, like so. But it was a thin line. Like, honestly, I almost went for the other option. I wonder like where I would be actually if I went to journalism school. I think I would have probably twisted into becoming a writer rather than a journalist anyway, you know. Just like I twisted also, you can like go to design school and be like a very by the book, like, technician, and just like not really try to be creative or anything. You just respond to a creative brief, and you're just like a small pawn in a bigger game. And I've been that. I've worked in the industry for a long time. I know how it works. I know like the creative input is very thin for a lot of people, like being called artist, you know. So yeah, a lot of people are just like they have the title rather than really the responsibilities of making art, you know. So yeah, I could have done the same thing as a designer, I guess. Yeah, I used to do it this way. I don't anymore. I feel like my global creative process changed a lot those last couple of years, and I think that's also why I'm actually doing things now that I think are way more innovative than I used to make. You know, because artists in this industry tend to use a recipe. You know, there is a recipe that you like, whether you learn about it at school or in the work environment or whatever it is, you know, like you just do it, and you become really good at doing like harmonious design and something that is beautiful and like just, you know, consistent aesthetics, you know. And this is not what I'm heading for, and I felt like I had to reorganize and rethink completely my creative process to actually make something that I was genuinely surprised of, you know. And yeah, it's been difficult. It's been like you have to unlearn a lot of conditioning to be able to do so. So to get back to your question, like me, I think I kind of radicalized myself into design. So now because I'm a little tired of people always being like screenplay comes first, story comes first, and then we kind of like put like cute little like aesthetics on top, but like it doesn't really matter. To me, it's just as important, or it can be even more important if you decide to make it more important. You know, you can make an art film. You can make an art film. You know, you don't have to tell a story. You can just make something that is just mind blowing, and that's fine. That's completely fine in my book. Actually, in many films that I enjoy these days are based on that premise. You know, like it's symbolism. It's abstracted, but in terms of visuals, I mean, filmmaking is a visual field. You know, we're talking about something that you see with your eyes. Like screenwriters can kind of appropriated it for some reason, but it's not a book; it's a film. You know, so to me, like I just want to put the visuals first, and that's my statement. And then if a story comes out of it, sure, why not? Yeah. So recently, because that just comes into mind with what I was just saying, is that Phil Tippett film called Mad God. You know, I don't know if you heard about this. That's the movie that I mention a lot to my friends, to everyone. Everyone is tired of like hearing me talk about it. It's just so Phil Tippett like has been like like a prosthetics legend since like the 80s or something. He worked on Jurassic Park, on Pan's Labyrinth, on all the Guillermo del Toro stuff. He's done those crazy creatures with animatronics and stop motion and all that stuff. But on the side, he was working on that film called Mad God, which was very much his personal thing. And it's a weird movie with those 90s gory aesthetics. And it's very symbolic. It's full of metaphors. You know, the story is extremely cryptic, and so no one wanted to fund that. No one wanted to like put money into that because they simply didn't believe that like there would be an audience for it because it was too fringe. So instead of whatever, like giving up on it or selling out or anything or like change his screenplay, it took him 30 years to craft it. It took him 30 years, and he finally released it last year. And so I watched it during the Fantasia Film Festival here in Montreal, and I was mind blown. I highly recommend this film because it backs up what I was saying, that when brute art is done to an extent that you don't have any money consideration or like marketing consideration, that you're not trying to make a film for a target audience, that you're just making a film for the sake of the art. That's what it looks like. And it's brutal. It is visceral. You know, it has something that like many movies is incapable of doing. And it's extremely rare. So that's why it's so precious to me to see film like this. So yeah, this one was a big one for me. I'm battling on many fronts. I'm still I still working freelance. We have a small like art studio here with a bunch of artists. We have like concept designers, 3D artists, CG supervisors, like, and we're like sharing this big building with tattoo artists and people like doing sewing. Like it's just this big art collective basically. So I'm doing freelance for video games, VFX, animated films, all that stuff to just make a living and pay the bills, you know. But I'm trying to reduce the workload of those kinds of things to like the bare minimum, simply because I want to, like I said, I want to make my own art. I want to deliver a message, you know. So I'm still working on distance. I'm learning animation right now, as this is the biggest bottleneck that we had during production. It's very hard to find animators that are not enslaved in 9 to 5 and willing to work on art projects like that. Like some people showed interest, but then it just doesn't work out because they have to do other things, you know. And so I'm basically on my own for most of it. That's why I'm learning animation, and I'm having a lot of fun actually with that. So I can be completely autonomous in the future in making those films, you know. So I'm very much heading for like the one-man army kind of strategy. I don't know if it's gonna do me good, but I'm trying. Yeah, no, it's a good one. That's definitely a talk that I usually have with my girlfriend because she's an expressionist painter, you know. So like we have very heated up like conversations. She's not into technology. She just sees it like as a threat usually to her own craft. Me, obviously, I have a different opinion because technology is part of what I do. So, but yeah, technology is one of the culprits of the distancing and the alienation, definitely, that is operating in our society by and large. I mean, it's very easy to see it. We're literally all addicted to our phones. We're addicted to Netflix, to all kinds of crap that has been like served to us for those last years, and technology allowed that to happen. At the same time, it's bittersweet, right? Because at the same time, technology is amazing. It's just like the way like the 3D engine, 3D softwares, NFTs, VR, AR, like all the possibilities, the windows that those things are opening is really cool. You know, like to me, I can see myself like going back to drawing things or painting or like doing stuff like that. Like 3D just give you such like an ubiquitous, like godlike sensation, you know, of like creating a universe from like the most minute detail to the biggest scale. It's a very grand like medium. At the end of the day, it's just like pixels on the screen, but when you are in this 3D world, you really feel like you have a full control into building another reality. And this is very, very hard to forget. As soon as you start to do that, you become obsessed with it, you know. So obviously this is technology, and the more technology advances and progresses, the more you can go even crazier, the more you can create even more things with a smaller level of detail. And you know, so I love that. At the same time, it is a constant threat to be put in the hands of people that just have a different fantasy that I am, you know, that have different goals in life. And when you are money driven and you have like all that technological power, like this is when things become a little scary, you know. Some of my friends are obsessed with it. Like they just they basically live in the metaverse now, or they're just doing their own thing there. Me, I'm neutral. I'm very neutral about it. I mean, I've been living in the digital world most of my life. From the first day that I had a computer and I was like starting to experiment with game makers or like MMORPGs at the time, like very old stuff. I've always been connected my whole life to this digital realm. So I do believe that it's very interesting, and it can like has a spot in society for that. But I think that's cool. No, I also don't want to immerse myself fully into that. I think I'm just kind of too old for that shit. You know, I still want to keep some a life in the physical world, but yeah, I mean, I'm not against it, definitely not. I mean, I tried NFTs amongst many other things. Usually when like something comes up, my first reaction to it is being very reactionary, being like, yo, oh, fuck that, no, whatever, like that's just crap. And then I'm like, oh, okay, might as well give it a shot, you know, like just to see where it goes. Because I'm just curious. I'm too curious for my own good, you know. So I'm just gonna try it out. That's gonna last for a week. So I did try NFTs for like a couple of projects. I released a few things. I did like a couple sales. Maybe I earned like $50 out of it or something. But I mean, it's not. For me, it's not like an epiphany or like this grand revolution, you know. And I don't think it serves the art as much as people inside of it want to advertise it. I honestly don't believe it. From day one, I don't believe that is the case. I think that is very much a market that is a construct and has been built with people with power in that specific area. You know, just like the contemporary art world, just like whatever it is, whatever your game is, you know, that's you're just gonna try to push it on society because you know you own the rules of that game. So you just want to, you know, people to like adhere to it. So I'm not part of it. Basically, I'm not part of it at all. I'm not connected. I just learned about cryptocurrency. I tried it and nothing happened. Simply because I don't think it's because my art is bad. I just think because I'm just not part of this world. Like I'm not going to spend my entire days marketing myself on Twitter and like making those like witty comments. You know, I don't have time for this. Like I need to make art. Like sorry, but it's kind of also like, to be fully honest with you, it's a little cringe. Like it's cringe, and it's kind of like it just hurts my soul when I have to do it. I feel so phony doing it, you know. It's just it's not to me like I don't want to like put myself like, you know, like in front of like, no, I just want the art to speak for itself. That's it. I don't think it's going to kill us all, at least not on the short term. I mean, you know, like you can, I mean, I've read like many sci-fi novels. You can speculate as much as you want on any topic, really. Will it be like AI? Will it be VR? Will it be cryptocurrency that's going to kill us all? Like, will it be capitalism? To me, at the moment, that's the most obvious one. That is literally just killing us all, you know, more than AI. So no, I'm not too worried about AI at the moment. I think it's just people like to just fantasize about like just crazy like Skynet, you know, case studies, but I don't think it's the case. I think AI is a very interesting topic. I've watched this documentary called AlphaGo last year. Really enjoyed that. I really loved the questions that were raised, both in terms of ethics and also just us as as humanity as a whole, you know, being defied by a machine, you know, where this guy that's been like the champion, the absolute champion of this game, and is completely destroyed, you know, by this AI, and kind of like his whole world like just crumbles, you know, like just falls to pieces. Like it's as if like me, I'm doing like, okay, I'm doing 3D, I become the best at 3D, and like I'm the shit, and then suddenly there's just like this AI doing procedural 3D modeling, which is kind of already the case, by the way. But I mean, on a different level, it's not quite there yet, but it's just like a way better artist than I am, you know, and it's like, yeah, obviously that's going to raise like questions and people are going to be scared of it. But at the same time, that's fair enough. Like if something is just better than you are, like maybe what you're doing is just obsolete. You just rendered obsolete. You know, I'm always for like human progress, whatever forms it takes. So if it's going to take, if it's going to let people like jobless and stuff like that, obviously I'm not for that. But it is for society to take care of those people, not society to like sabotage itself so it doesn't progress like too far because people are going to be jobless. No, it's if someone's job is made irrelevant, you give him another job, or you just give him like universal income, whatever it is, you know. I haven't thought about this so much because I think I am on my own obsession. I feel like if I want to be, if I want to contribute to like the global artistic effort and to society in general, I have to do this thing that is mine. I have to do it, and then I'm going to be open to. It's. I feel like I am not just. I still have the imposter syndrome in a way, you know, where I don't think that everything I've created so far has been good enough and novel enough so that I can pretend to collaborate with people that I admire or like that I'm fond of, you know. So yeah, I'm very self-centered, or at least centered on my work, I guess, more than myself. As for like other people, I mean, there's people I appreciate the work of. Kojima, I really like Kojima's stuff. Like I've done Death Stranding a few weeks ago. It took me a while, and but, I mean, there's some things that I find cheesy in what he does, but like there's also a lot of things that I thought like, wow, but he's just like got really cool high concepts and he's doing things differently. I also love the fact that he finally got to produce his own video games. You know, he's not under Konami anymore, so he's just doing his own thing, and I really appreciate that. I envy him for that. But I mean, at the same time, he proved himself, you know. Fuck, like he's done like so many great games for the industry before being able to do Death Stranding. So I really enjoyed that. I love the 4 Degrees studio in Japan, the guys who made Tekken Concrete. Those guys like hold a very special place in my creative admiration. I don't really know like what they're doing actually nowadays. I feel like unfortunately, I don't know if Technical was a huge success. Financially, probably not. So I think they're like just back to making animes and stuff, which I find kind of sad. I think that society again should be encouraging people that are brilliant like that to just like give them money to just do whatever you want. You know, just do something great. Wow. Uh, I mean, considering that every path is different, it's a difficult question, right? But I mean, in from my own experience, I'm just gonna narrow that question a little bit so I don't go all over the place on tangents, let's say. But if we're talking 3D artist, um, I think you have to after school, or you can be also doing your own thing. But whatever, I think you need to go to the industry to work in a professional, squarish environment. You know, just to learn from more experienced people, from just technical like conundrums and like being confronted to like the work environment and all that stuff. You're gonna have to spend a few years in that field, even if you're a genuine artist and you want to be creative. I think that is a mandatory like passage for a lot of people. But don't get sucked in. Like, just don't get sucked in. Like, just keep your free will. Keep like a critical eye. Keep like your principles, because I feel like the industry is very good at conditioning people and denaturing their ideals. You know, simply because they want to keep you. They want to keep you trapped in their own enterprise because you're making money for them, you know. So it sounds very grim when I say it like that, but it's just reality, really. So yeah, I've been like I've had a lot of struggle with doing that, you know. Like I would like hate myself every day waking up in the morning to go working for something that I genuinely thought was either boring, mediocre, or in the worst cases like bad, you know, just really bad. So yeah, it takes some resilience, but eventually just grab as much as you can from that context and then use it either against them if that's your thing, or just to make your own thing, just to craft your own stuff, you know. Because I can't deny that it definitely taught me a lot of things. And if I'm able to deliver a message right now, it's mainly because of my technical capabilities. I'm very aware of that. It's my skill. It's my skill that makes me stand out, you know, more than anything else, you know. So yeah, I guess that would be my advice for artists. I would say like don't get too involved. I felt like I was a little bit dramatic. I mean, I still am at times, but especially when I was younger, I was very yeah, like dramatic and just an intense teenager, you know. And I would get very much involved. I would take things personally. I would get mad about things. I would be extremely frustrated, and I lost a lot of hair just doing that, just being worried all the time, and kind of like in this anger zone, you know. And at the same time, it was also a creative fuel, and it was a career like fuel as well, like a drive, you know. But yeah, it just put me into a psychological state that I thought was unnecessary. With in hindsight, you know, I feel like I'm able to control myself way more nowadays with things that I just distance myself from a lot of things. So yeah, that would be my advice. It's probably a good advice for a lot of, of aspiring artists as well.